What's happening, everybody? Justin, Bridgewater's finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter, and welcome to week 13 of my weekly NFL pick show for the 2013-2014 NFL season. Now, last week was only an iffy week. I'm not gonna lie, I barely scraped by both with the top two over-under and against the spread, and even straight up. So it was a rough week last week, but apparently it was a rough week for a lot of us. So let's get into how I did in week 12 before we get into the picks for week 13. And stay tuned at the end of the video for an extensive fantasy football update. We'll start it off with the top two against the spread and over-under. Another week where I just kind of scraped by. Against the spread, I told you to take Denver -1. That didn't work out as they fell victim to the cold weather and Tom Brady. I told you to take San Fran -5. That worked out in a big bad way. They clobbered the Redskins. So I was 1-1 there, 11-13 against the spread on the season. Over-under, I told you to take Baltimore and the Jets over 40. That was kind of maybe my stretch. Didn't work out there. I think there's only 22 points scored in the whole game, so that didn't work out. But I told you to take over 44 in Green Bay, Minnesota. That worked out, and it also worked out to be a tie. But over 44 worked out in that game, so I was 1-1 there, 10-13-1 on the over-under this season. So on the season between the two of them, I'm 21-26-1. Let's take a look at how the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks worked out for week 12. But before that, I had a slight mix-up with my confidence points versus what I said in the video against what I actually did in the league. Based on the points that I put them through in the actual league, my gold pick was Pittsburgh, who I put 13 of 14 possible points on. Well, New Orleans dropped to my silver pick, which is worth 12, and Dallas was my bronze pick, who this week was worth 11. I must have made changes to it at some point after filming the video, which I don't tend to do, but I must have gone in and done it. I don't remember doing it, but for the benefit of the video, I'm going to go with the picks that I gave you in the week 12 video. In the Week 12 video, my bronze pick, I told you to take the Steelers to beat the Browns. The Browns were apparently the Vegas favorite in this game, which I couldn't figure out. Pittsburgh went in, did a very solid job of limiting Cleveland, beat them 27-11. Pittsburgh scores 24 unanswered points in this game, and the big reason why the Steelers are kind of rolling right now, Ben Roethlisberger has stepped up his play in a big bad way. Roethlisberger in his last 4 games, 97 for 157, 1,188 yards with 11 touchdowns versus just 3 picks. So Roethlisberger starting to step his game up here, trying to push Pittsburgh into one of those wild card spots. My silver pick on the Week 12 video was the Detroit Lions to beat the Tampa Bay Bucks. That did not work out. The Bucks beat them on a very, very, very late touchdown by Mike Glennon, I believe. So Detroit loses that game 24-21. 4 interceptions in this game for Matt Stafford. This really came down to the quarterback play here. Yeah, Stafford threw 3 touchdowns, but he threw 4 picks. He's thrown 8 interceptions to just 9 touchdowns in his last 4 games. That's not good for a quarterback that some people call elite. I'm not going to call him elite. Some people do call him elite, but those are not elite numbers. Then you look on the other side, you take a look at Mike Glennon. This is his 2nd straight game where he put up at least a 135 QB rating, which is huge for a guy that very few of us paid any attention to at the beginning of the year. 135 plus QB rating and 2 touchdowns for the 2nd straight game. Mike Glennon outplayed Matt Stafford in this game. If Stafford could have limited a couple of those interceptions, I mean, one of those interceptions was taken back for a score. So there's your game right there. So Stafford needs to play better. Detroit is a better team than what they're showing. My gold pick, I told you to take New Orleans to beat Atlanta. That worked out, although not by the score that most people would have thought. 17-13 New Orleans wins. Atlanta had more first downs and won the time of possession battle in this game, but they couldn't keep their quarterback up. Matt Ryan was sacked 5 times in this game, and they had a costly 4th quarter turnover that, while it didn't generate any points for the Saints, it did pull 5 minutes off the game clock, and in a game that you are losing, 5 minutes means everything. That's a big chunk of time there, and that turnover cost them that 5 minutes. New Orleans wins. And the platinum pick, I told you to take San Francisco to beat Washington. San Francisco rolled there 27-6. San Francisco puts up the final 17 points in this game. Colin Kaepernick throws for 3 touchdowns. Very, very good game for him. The Redskins have no offensive touchdowns in a game for the first time this year, and that has got to be a big boon of confidence to the 49ers defense going into a very, very tough matchup this week. Straight up on the week, I was only 7-6-1. We had our first tie of the NFL season. Again now, ties in 2 straight seasons, which seems very, very out there for me, but it is what it is. So 7-6-1 on week 12. 107 up, 68 down, 1 tie, and that may sound familiar because that was the exact same record straight up that I had last season in week 13. It's phenomenal that I hit the exact same number, but the percentile is much better. So comparative to the other people that do pick'ems on Yahoo, last year I was only in the 72nd percentile with that 107, 68, and 1 record. This year I'm in the 87th percentile. So that is a whole 15% of people that play the Yahoo game that this year I'm better than compared to last year. In the private pick'em, I still sit in 2nd place out of 22, 936 out of 1,385 possible confidence points, a clip of 68%. In week 12, I was only able to rake in 60 of 105 possible confidence points. That was a clip of only 57%. But again, most other people in the league struggled. The winning teams in the past week only had 62 confidence points. And yes, I said teams. For the first time this year, we had a tie for who won the week. Shout out to Jayshon McCutownler for MVP and Billy B's winning picks. Both of them tied with an identical 62 out of 105 possible confidence points. Jayshon McCutownler did that with a 9-4-1 record, while Billy B did that with a 7-6-1 record, identical to mine. 62 of 105 possible confidence points, a clip of 59%. And another shout out to Jayshon McCutownler for MVP, who still leads the league, 110 up, 65 down, 1 tie, of course. 957 of 1385 confidence points, clip of 69%. So shout out to Jayshon McCutownler and Billy B's winning picks for winning week 12, and again to Jayshon McCutownler, you know the Twitter address, for remaining our overall leader. So let's get into the Week 13 predictions here for you. We're going to start with the top 2 against the spread and over-under. I got a couple of overplays here for you on the over-under. That's where we'll start. My favorite OU play this week comes in the Minnesota-Chicago game. The number there is 49. I'm telling you to take the over. Why? 2 teams that can put up points and 2 teams that can't stop anybody else from putting up points. 49 is a relatively big number, but I'm going to take that because both of these defenses are struggling. Minnesota, based on points, is one of the worst defenses in the league, and Chicago is really underperforming right now. I think these guys can both put up points, so 49, take the over. And my second favorite OU play this week comes in the Dallas-Oakland game. The number there is 46.5, and I'm going to tell you to go over on that one as well. Not a lot of people were saying that the Dallas Cowboys were going to beat the Giants last week. The Giants were the sexy pick to take straight up. I stuck with my gut, stuck with Dallas, and that worked out for me. I think Oakland is going to be able to put up a couple of touchdowns there, and Dallas' offense just looks really good right now. So 46.5, I think, is a manageable number for this matchup. Oakland's defense is nothing special, so I'm going to tell you to take over 46.5 in Dallas-Oakland. And against the spread, I got a couple of favorite plays for you. My favorite ATS play this week comes in the New York Giants game. They are playing this week, uno momento, the Washington Redskins. They are on the road, but favored by a point on the road. Eventually, the Redskins have to win a game, but I don't see the Giants, with the way the Giants are playing right now, I don't see them losing 2 straight division games. Yes, the Giants are only 1-4 on the road this year, but I think the Giants can go into Washington and get it done. Probably another late game comeback from RG3. I think it's going to fall a little short. So in New York Giants, Washington Redskins, I'm going to tell you to take the Giants -1. And my second favorite ATS play this week comes in the Indianapolis game. Now, Indianapolis is at home to the Tennessee Titans, who again I said are one of, if not the biggest fraudulent teams in football. And I just like the Colts here. I think the Colts are too good to continue losing games. Yes, they got blown out last week. Yes, their defense is playing horrendously right now. But I don't know. I just like Indy in this game. So I'm going to take Indy -4 in their game at home against Tennessee. Now let's look at the platinum, gold, silver, and bronze picks for Week 13 in the NFL. The bronze pick, I am going to go with San Francisco at home against St. Louis, and I'm going to go with San Francisco in this one. It's a tight divisional matchup. I honestly think this game's going to be a lot closer than most people might think. St. Louis just plays their division hard. I think it's going to be close, but with San Francisco being at home, Kaepernick coming off a 3-touchdown game, he's getting Michael Crabtree back. The offense looking really, really good. Bolden looking like a force. Frank Gore, I'm hoping that his kind of injury issues aren't bubbling back up here. So I'm going to go with the 49ers at home. It's a winnable game for them. So 49ers beat the Rams. That's the bronze pick. My silver pick comes in the Tampa Bay at Carolina game. Now, I'm taking Carolina here, even though Tampa Bay is comparatively playing very, very good football right now compared to what they were playing at the beginning of the season. Mike Glennon looking like a fantastic quarterback right now. As we mentioned earlier, back-to-back 135-plus QBR games with a couple of touchdowns. Carolina has only given up 20 points at home once this year. Who was that to? That was to the Patriots. I don't see Tampa Bay being the Patriots. I don't see Tampa Bay getting to that magical 20-point plateau. I think Carolina can put the ball in the end zone at least 3 times. So I'm going to take Carolina to beat Tampa Bay at home. That's the silver pick. My gold pick, we already talked about it a little bit earlier. Oakland at Dallas. Running with Dallas here. I think Dallas should be able to run away with this game in the first half. Oakland's going to be playing catch-up very, very quickly in this one, I would imagine. So I'm going to take Dallas all day to beat Oakland at home. That's the gold pick. And the platinum pick, New England on the road in Houston. I'm going to take New England in this game for the platinum pick. Houston, does anything else need to be said about Houston this year? I think they found their new quarterback. I think Case Keenum can get the job done. Houston's just got zero confidence and zero momentum right now. So strike while the iron is hot. New England is hot. New England has picked up their game. Obviously a big come-from-behind win there against Denver on Monday Night Football last week. Manning versus Brady. Brady is starting to take off. He's the second most valuable fantasy quarterback right now over the last, I think, 4 weeks or something, and that's where Brady belongs, you know what I mean? That's his talent. That's where his talent level is. As long as the offensive line can keep Brady up from J.J. Watt, which I think they can, shouldn't be any trouble. So I'm going to take New England to beat Houston on the road. That's the platinum pick. Now let's take a look at the rest of my Week 13 picks in the National Football League. Here they are. That's the Week 13 show for you folks. Comments, hate, and love, you know where they go in the comments section below. Again, here comes that big fantasy football update. As you all know, as I've mentioned before, I'm in 4 leagues this year, 3 on Yahoo, and the YouTube Prognosticators League on ESPN. We're going to start with my Yahoo leagues. The 10-team league that I'm in, the one that I've been in for a few years now, currently sit with a record of 8-4. That has me in 4th place, but I have clinched a playoff spot there. 1 game to go. I'm on a 3-game winning streak in that league, so I was down as low as 5-4. The second league, 14-team league, one that I just joined up this year. Seems like it's full of a bunch of good guys. I'm sitting at 9-3 in that league right now, in a 3-way tie for first place with 2 games to go. I have clinched a playoff spot there, but I did lose my matchup last week. And in the league that I commish, I have an identical 9-3 record in a two-way tie for first place overall in the league. 1 game to go. I did lose my matchup last week, but I have obviously clinched a playoff spot there, so I'm looking forward to the playoffs in all of those Yahoo leagues. And now it comes down to the YouTube Prognosticators League, where, if I do say so myself, Bridgewater's Finest is one of the hottest teams in fantasy football. 9-3 record, tied for first place, 2 games to go on a 7-game winning streak. Let's say that again, 7-game winning streak. This is the guy that missed the draft, guys. This week, I step up to the challenge of the 4-8 masked tweeter. Right now, I believe I sit as a 33-point favorite, but really the favorites don't mean anything because I've come from behind and I've lost games that I should have won. So that doesn't mean anything. Masked tweeter, we gonna get it done this week. That's it for me, Justin, Bridgewater's Finest on YouTube, Blockbuster_guy on Twitter. Week 13 NFL Picks Show. Good luck with your picks this week. See you right back here for Week 14.